Hello, it's Pia, and now we have the part 3 in my mini series about foiling techniques. Today we're going to look at how you can make your own printed toner images. Now, I have printed these different images. I have an HB Hewlett Packard LaserJet Pro printer. Now, it's important when you print your own toner printing that you set your printer for black, really black. Now, also, you have to be aware about copyrights here. So when you're searching for images, please use the advanced search and pick the ones that are free to use. For these we're going to test out today, I have chosen the Decafold transfer sheets in gold and the Gina K Designs Fancy Foils in Twinkling Pink. Now this one is the Twinkling Pink, a gorgeous one. Really, it's almost like a disco club globe shining up in all pink colors. Now the Fancy Foils comes in 12 sheets, which are 6 inches times 8 inches. Which are bits, the pieces are a bit smaller, but you've got more sheets. Whereas with the Decafold transfer sheets, you've got 5 sheets that are 6 inches times 12 inches. So they are really long. Well, really, but nevertheless, you still get in each one of them a fair and good amount of foil to play with. Now, the gold I'm going to use for this little flower bouquet. Now, as I've mentioned in part 1 and part 2 of this mini series, it is always important that the toner images are completely covered of foil. This way you will get, for one, get the best result, and 2, you will not get any leftover bits in your transfer sheet. We're using the mini ink machine again, and as always, you can also use a normal laminator. The first go here we're going to test out is this flower bouquet. It's intricate and it's detailed and it's got some really thin lines. Now, the reasoning I'm testing this is because really thin lines when you're printing your own images can be a challenge. So, because I was certain to put my printer on solid black print, plus when I was choosing my images, I was trying to really find images that had sharp, crisp edges to the images. Be as I've mentioned before, both in video 1 and 2, I always run my foiling through twice, and it's to be on the safe side and be certain that it gets enough heat so that the foil sort of sticks to the toner image better. It's warm, it can get quite warm, so let it just cool down a bit before you take it out of the transfer sheet. Now this is quite exciting. Let's see if the image I chose is actually good for foiling. I'm not disappointed actually. We take a closer look at it and see if there are any. There are a few parts where the lines get really thin, where the foil hasn't adhered, but the result is still very much usable. Now the second go is a more solid image, but it still has got details. So this one I'm thinking I should get a much better, well but I should get a better foil result compared to the first one. This time I'm using the Twinkling Pink from Gina K Designs. Really pink. It's a pink flower. Let's see what the result is. Ooh, I'm as excited as you are. Let's see. Wow, that is really good. Absolutely good. I actually got a bit at the top where you've got that very thin line where it didn't stick all the way, but definitely a very usable part. Now the third one, I found a butterfly. Butterflies are so nice. This time it's more solid. I do have a couple of thin lines, but not so many of them, if you can get my saying. Again, 2 times through the ink machine, and still heat level 3. Let's see how this one goes and turns out. Again in twinkling pink. Why not? It's a butterfly. Now that's definitely not disappointing. Oh, I could make more cards with this one. Now this one is the most solid of all the images I've chosen. I basically don't have any really thin lines, and I'm actually expecting this to be really the best of the best results of all of these. Not that the others couldn't be used, but this is actually really exciting. Again, I run it through 2 times to make sure, let it cool down quickly, and then I can test and see how the end result turned out. Let's see, come on, let's see it. And it's the Decofoil Gold. Okay, now that lived up to my expectations. I only got a few little spots at the end of some of the leaves where the foil didn't cover. Now let's take a closer look here. Now if you can see when I'm turning it in the light, you can see there are a few places where it's only black toner and not with gold on it, but it's still pretty and it can definitely still be used. Now the second gold was more solid, but still with a few thin lines there, here and there, and yes, it did not adhere completely, and there's a few places at the ends where it didn't stick, but still it's usable. It definitely is, and you have to be really picky if you're not going to like this. And then the butterfly was really good. Now there's the part with the, how do you say, the fangs, or the, I can't remember what they're called in English, but those, it had really trouble with the foil to get stuck. Now this one, that was the most perfect one, definitely. A few tips of the leaves where it didn't get stuck, but still not bad at all. So definitely I think you should try it. Do you have a laser printer? Then this is a possibility, or if perhaps a copy machine at your work, that could also be useful for this technique. Have a good day and have fun crafting.